Hi guys, have you subscribed to this Donna Dewberry channel? Well, I'm thrilled to come on and share with you lots of lessons, but to do that, I need you to subscribe and go to notifications and ring the bell so that you're notified when I'm coming on. I have lots of special free streaming lessons that are great for you to come on live with me. So please go do that and stay tuned for the lesson. Hello, for practice stroke today, we're going to do another one of the signature brush collection brushes. This is my Donna Dewberry FolkArt one stroke brush set. This is the set of brushes that are my highest quality brushes that I've ever had. And they're wonderful because the handles are made higher quality, the ferrules higher quality, and the bristles are in these brush sets. And I have my standard dark green brush handles that are my value pack brushes. These are wonderful brushes. And so it's like good, better, best. These are better. These are the best. Okay, so I just want to go over the 13 most used brushes by me. And the value pack, the dark green handle brushes, those are when you're looking at those, I just want you to know that those are the 10 most used brushes. And they also are a great way for you to start if you are trying out my technique. I was going to show you. So there's 10 different brushes in here, and they all have the dark green handle. And those are the ones that I start out a lot of new students with. But many people want really high quality brushes when they are working with the strokes so that they have better chisels, better strokes as you're loading. And my brushes are different than traditional brushes. If I say it's a 16 flat compared to other brushes that are 16 flat, I just want you to know my bristles have usually longer bristles and like in my flat brushes, and they have a spring to them so that as you're putting pressure releasing, you're going to get better results for my one stroke technique. All right, so today I'm using Scruffy brushes. All right, so we've used the round brush last week, and that was an 8 round. And today we're going to use a brush that I created that was never in the market before. There's brushes like it, but not exactly like mine. So what you're going to see with these brushes is the different elements that they make happen for us. So I want you to understand that these are all synthetic nylon bristles, which are working really good for my technique. Like I said, they have a spring, they've got really good density. All right, so these are natural hair. And what I want to share with you is a couple of real important things. First of all, the size. I took and made my original one from a very old 3/4 inch flat brush. And I kept working it, and it was really beat up. And it's one of those brushes that you keep because it makes a look that you like for something that you're painting, like for landscape or whatever. Well, this brush we had custom made to be what I need to replica the Scruffy that I created. So now these Scruffies, when they're in the package, they're different because they're flat. And I'm going to show you how we're going to fluff the Scruffy. And we're going to put these other brushes away so that you can see very clearly. All right, so what happens is I have a 3/4 inch, which was my first brush ever, Scruffy, and then a 1/2 inch, and then a 1/4 inch. All right, so what we do first is that we need to fluff these Scruffies. All right, and when we're cleaning the Scruffy, I just want to show you that when we're cleaning our Scruffies, what happens is that with the nylon brushes, we're raking them, and it doesn't damage them. But since these are natural hairs, I have to go in and pounce them in the bottom of the water. All right, then come over here and make sure the color's out of it. And I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, but when these brushes are new, they have sizing in them. So I want you to take the brush, pounce it in the water, and right here is the ferrule. So we're going to squeeze the ferrule because that's where all the water will be. All right, squeeze the ferrule. And to fluff the Scruffy, we're going to take and go just like this. And it looks like you're destroying the Scruffy. But what we're trying to do is fluff it. And I want it to be like fluffy, like a makeup brush. All right, so I then take my fingernails and I do not pull these outside bristles. I go right in the middle of the Scruffy and fluff it from the middle. Okay, so it should be a nice oval fluff. Okay, and I want to explain to you one thing that happens is when I say we're going to do half one color, half the other, it's not this half. Okay, I want you to look at this like it's an egg that you're going to crack. So it's going to be half, this half, and this half. All right, for the top or the bottom. All right, now let's fluff these other Scruffies. All right, so I've already wet these. All right, I want to fluff it. It's all nice and ready for me. And same thing with the small Scruffy. This one takes a little while because there's less bristles to get it like I want it. All right. All right, so here's some of the things we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to do this hedge and put different colors of Scruffy along there. Centers and flowers, a snowman head and cheeks and earmuffs is the key to the center of a sunflower, and how you do wisteria hanging off a vine. All right. So these are fun things, just a few things that you can do with the Scruffy, okay? So it makes it really nice for you to see what we're accomplishing with this technique. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my 1/2 inch, and this is the loading process. So we're going to come down really low so you can see that I'm going to take, hear that, and this. Okay, that's how we pick up. And as we need more. All right. So since we're on green, I want you to see that we're gonna, I don't want you to come across just like this. Okay, I want to show you how we work this. Now I can also, if I'm coming to the edge of the puddle of paint, I can also come over here and get a little bit of white because it's the same color, so it's not showing up as well. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to pounce up and down. Then I have to get more paint. All I need is more of the lighter colors. Okay. Now, as we're painting with the Scruffy brush, I want you to learn how to make this do what you want it to do. See, we can add little bits of white just to make this pop. Okay, now what's going to happen is I want to show you what not to do. I showed you not to do that straight line. But another thing, this is how people will use the Scruffy wrong. They'll just hard, 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 hard. We're not doing that. We stay down tight. All right. The other thing that a lot of people do is they do this and barely pounce. So we don't want these, and we don't want this. We want that intense shady. This is like a bush, a hedge of greenery, okay? So then I want to show you another quick little technique that you will like, where I'm just pouncing in here to clean it again. All right. Then I want to show you how we get that paint out there. We're gonna go like this, and you see green still in there. Until we have no green. Okay, we pinch the ferrule because we don't want water in it. We fluff it. All right, now I want to share with you a fun way to add wildflowers in there. So just pretty flowers along the bottom there. All right, so this is a little trick that really helps, is when you're taking and you load the whole brush. I never dip in the middle, but I'm sorry, so I needed to go on the side of this puddle. So I want all white. And so you don't have to wash the brush out each single time. I'm going to show you that on one end of the Scruffy, I get the purple, violet pansy. On the other end, I get magenta. So I have two colors, and this is on the 1/2 inch Scruffy, and this is going to show you how to do multiple colors without having to clean out each time. All right, so I need to tilt the brush. So I'm going to bring it down so you can see me, and I'm going to tilt it so that I can come in here and add some pink flowers along the hedge. All right, or I can then flip the brush. See, that's just the magenta. And then let's put some violet pansy in here. And I'm just tipping it. I need a little bit more violet pansy. Okay. All right, now I don't go into the water like I showed you before. I go right here to my paper towel and I work off this paint, because I don't want to wet it and have to fluff it again. The white's still in here, all right, inside the brush. So I'm going to come right back and freshen up the white. And then I could come right here and get a little bit of yellow. All right. So we can come right in here. And a little bit of yellow in here. Yellow with the white. So you have a nice little wildflower hedge. So then I can flip it over and just add little bits of white if I want to. See, some of that white's really strong there. Some there. All right. So to make this complete, you see that? I could come back in here actually and just grab the two colors, and I want you to see that I can clean up, make this the ground cover out of here. Come along here and make it a little kind of straight. And so you might have sponged on the whole ground area, but I want you to see that that's how you get that little hedge. And then you can also come in here. I had a script liner. All right. All right, and you can come along here. It's kind of fun. All right, so it's just a little hedge along the way. So you can come right in here and pull some of the dark green that's inside while it's still wet, because you get so much in that Scruffy. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. All right. I am going to pull this 2-script liner because I will use this as I need it to show you different things. There's sizing in it, so I got to rake the sizing out of it. All right, because I used a green brush there. I should have, my green handle, I should have used that for you. All right, so I want to clean this out again. This whole process really helps you to learn how to do that. Okay. Now let's dry the figure. I'll just continue to remember to do that. Okay. Now I want to show you, this is my favorite way to use this brush, is I use it a lot for doing my sunflowers. So I'm going to pounce the dark brown. This is burnt umber and Pueblo. Now, if you haven't worked with me before with paints, we're using multi-surface paint. This is FolkArt. This is FolkArt multi-surface paint, which says just what it is. It's got a sealer in it, so it will go on glass, metal, ceramic, all sorts of different surfaces. So I'm going to Scruffy. See, I'm tight, 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 tight. And I go up and over, and then I come down here really tight, and I start right there, come around, and this should look like a chocolate donut with maple syrup, maple icing. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce, 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 bounce. See how fresh it is? Now, when I'm doing the sunflower with the Scruffy, there's a couple things I want to share with you. Is when you run out of paint, all you do is run out of paint that is fresh and wet. You're going to take this is a 12 flat. You're going to grab that paint and pull out. Grab it, pull. You need it to stay wet. So if you dry up because you're going slower than me, then what you would do was take your Scruffy and pick up some fresh paint and repounce it anywhere that you might still might have started drying up. Okay, I want you to see, I'm going to pick up both these colors and see how I pull the browns. Come here and add some of that brown there and there. Now, it kind of messed up the edges a little bit when you do that. So you take the reloaded Scruffy and you repounce. Okay, and clean that up. So you put little speckles back inside along your petals. Okay, now it still isn't done. So now I could take this Scruffy with the same paint in it, and I'm going to pounce a little teeny bit of yellow ochre. All right, so now I can come right in here. All right, and I'm going to tap with just that corner and make a C. Sorry, it's not showing. There we go. All right, you make a C. Now, isn't that fun and quick? I love doing that part with the Scruffy so you see what it really turns out like. All right, we only have a couple more things I want to show you. Doing the centers, I do a lot with the small Scruffy. Okay, this is the 1/4" Scruffy. I'm trying to clean my brushes as I go to keep them nice. Now, what I want you to see, the same thing is that I'm going to take this small Scruffy and I'm going to pick up and show you that there's ways to color the center we're gonna, first of all, I'm just going to pounce some yellow ochre and some daffodil yellow. Okay, let's take this right here. And I have the light at the top, the yellow daffodil at the top, yellow, and then I pounced a little white. So see how that gives it a highlight? So, and sometimes I put dark green. So I'm going to put sap green on one edge. So you can multi-load the Scruffy. And for it to be set and have a depth, I'm going to pounce the dark green at the bottom. So this is used as just little single pounces like this, or it's done where you have the daffodil yellow, yellow ochre, and I come back with the other colors. So I want to share with you that then I would take, this is a 12 again, and I just picked up white, and I'm going to push and pull into, right into my daisy. Okay. And we're going to come all the way around, and we're pushing and lifting. Okay. So one last thing I want to do on here is I do come back and I can repounce to clean up, but at least I put the center so you know where you're going. And you don't have to put all the detail. I might just pounce some yellow so I know which size I want to make it. And then what's really fun to get this daisy technique is that we can put little dabs, even more little dabs in here to get this daisy look. Isn't that fun? Okay, so we're gonna keep cleaning out my Scruffies, fluffing them, having them ready. All right, now let's do the snowman. So we're gonna pounce, let me move this out of the way again. We're gonna pounce this large Scruffy, 3/4 Scruffy. I'm gonna get just the edge, one end into the light blue. Now this is, look at, what blue is this? So what I want to share with you, this is medium blue. And I usually do burnt umber and white for the snowman, but I sometimes get tired of that and want something fresh. So I will do a blue snowman because he's icy and makes a nice color. All right, so you see I'm turning the Scruffy around. I usually tell you not to turn it around, but to move it around to fill in an area. And on this, what I want you to see is that that just gives you a nice edge to give you depth of the snowman instead of just plain white. Okay. Now I'm going to then take my medium Scruffy, which is a half edge. I'm going to pounce white. I could use the small Scruffy, the 1/4 inch, or I can do this guy to do the cheeks, and I keep this is magenta and white for the cheeks. I should have used the 1/4 inch because I could control it a little better, but there we go. So I am going to use the 1/4 inch to show you that we're going to make earmuffs. All right, on both sides. Now, I don't want you to use Scruffy till you make it muddy. See how that's, oh, geez. See how that's muddy? I want you to be able to see the color. I touched that blue by accident. Okay, so let's don't over pounce it. Let's get some dark green in there. All right, I'll show you this better with the Wisteria, okay? All right. So I'm going to now take, let's get a little bit of this licorice. And I'll show you really quick how this, so far that was easy. I do layers of the snowman. All right, we're going to take and dot a triangle. A little bit bigger. All right, then I do little teeny slashes. I'm going to take in, let's make it skinny again. This is very wet. I usually let this totally dry before I start making the features on here. Okay, but I want you to see that quickly you can make this cute little snowman. I can then put his nose. Okay, a little bit of a nose on here. All right. When it's dry, this goes a lot easier. All right. I just want to share with you that he is very simple and cute. I'm going to come around and there's his head, and I'm going to put a teeny bit of white, put a couple little dots in his eyes. And there we are. You can even put cute little lashes. All right, so the last thing, I'm going to turn this way so I don't have my hands across it. I'm going to use my 12 again. I'm going to change this to purple so I can take out the pinks and lay that there. And let's pick up and finish off our little lesson. And I hope that you'll go practice these, do your homework this week, and be ready for another brush next week. And I want you to share on our Facebook group. And it's Donna Dewberry's official one-stroke group on Facebook. And come and share some of your work with us, okay? Your practice strokes, share them with us. We'd love to see that. All right, so I made a little vine. All right, I'm gonna pull a few long, slender leaves. All right, you can tell when I don't have enough paint. All right, so I'm gonna just put a few long, slender leaves in, and now let's do our wisteria. So I'm gonna pounce back here to the white. You need to have a place on the table for this, not up in the air like I'm doing. Now make sure that this brush is totally dried out of water so that you don't have a problem with that. I'm going to turn it back this way so I can make the wisteria kind of fall. So I want you to see that on this one, instead of what I was telling you, oops, instead of doing a round like the snowman, we don't want to do that. We want to make a round area where we're pouncing around, but you don't want to over pounce it because I want to keep all that bright color there. Then I'm going to tip the brush on the side of the brush to get the hanging wisteria. See, I've got enough to do a few of these on the brush already. Now I don't pounce them till they're mud. You want it to be, you want to see all this color. So I needed more of the violet pansy. And now look, this is how you pounce it till it looks like mud. All right, so look at the difference in the two. And now I can come back in with more paint, pounce in some more white in there. And then I could actually even come back in with violet pansy and add some darker back in there. Okay, so you can fix it, but that's the look that you're looking for. All right, now this is my favorite part. If you go back and do this while it's wet, all right, where you pick up the sap and the citrus again. I want you to see that we can go right in here and have pretty purple into the leaves. See that? So we're going to come right here and go back and get more paint. Isn't that fun? Okay, there you go. All right, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. We've got lots of brushes to go clean up, but there you go. All right, so that is the Donna Dewberry one-stroke Scruffy brushes. Thank you. See you next week.